Okay guys, so we are going to do an episode here where we're going to show you how I can get a different setup. It's very, very important. This setup change is so important when you're fishing in Puget Sound. This is a really, really popular rig right here. It's called a Buzz Bomb, and they also have Point Wilson darts like these right here. These are Point Wilson darts. These are a different type right here. You got your Buzz Bombs. And like I said, these are mimicking a candlefish that dive down into the ground. What this is mimicking for the pink salmon, which is for kings in coho, what this is mimicking for pink salmon is squid. And this is not a squid jig, but here we are. It's very popular for catching pinks because they will smack this thing as it flutters down. Not a problem at all. But problem is, the way it comes is with this treble hook, it's a barbless fishing area, and if you clip these barbs off, that tiny little short shank right there, they spit it out. When this is fluttering down, you don't have any tension on the line, and you can't feel them get hooked, and then spit it out, and then you pull it up, and you just keep jigging. You never even know the fish was there and gone. And if you catch a fish, these, when they're barbless, will actually work against each other and push the other hook out. So unless it gets all the way in its mouth and pins it in there, it's not good. If you get them on the outside of the nose or anything like that, they can just pop off a lot easier. And like I said, that shank right there is not very long, especially when it's barbless. So this is one of the changes that we make from the standard way of using it. If it's barbed, it's gonna work fine like that. We're gonna go ahead and take and run a double hook setup with a Hoochie on there, so it's even more presentable to pink salmon. Now, I've found online there are a few of these made with a Hoochie setup, but the difference is where we're going to make an improvement is they have a single hook on 98% of them. I've only found 2 where they actually have double hooks on them. Problem is with those double hooks, they have them offsetting opposite directions, which works great if they're barbed. Remember, because now you're covering 50% extra sides with a barbed hook, so they can't spit it when it's fluttering down. On this situation in the Puget Sound, it's barbless, so they will spit that hook, and you need another hook facing the same direction on the same side so that when this is fluttering down and those hooks hit that fish, you have a second backup hook right there to nail that fish. So when one hook falls out, the other hook sticks into the fish. While it's trying to get it undone, you pull the slack out, you have a fish on. And both these hooks are stuck in that fish 90% of the time because I have them so close together, double stacked in the claw formation is what I call it. You can see how I do it with these rigs on the bigger rigs. I'm also going to do it with these pink rigs. Just like I did on the jig video where we've got these jigs tied up. Instead of having just a single hook on that jig, we came out with a way of tying these jigs and setting them up so they're on there nice and tied on there right here, and have double hooks hiding in there, stacked on each other. So when we're fishing that barbless area, we're not going to be losing fish like a lot of people will. And a lot of times they won't even know the fish was there, honestly, because the fish will spit it out before they even feel it. So let's go ahead and tie this up. We have a single bead under here. It's not a bead, it's actually a float. I want it to kind of float a little bit. It's a corky, and it's just a size, let me see, I think it's a 10. It's a small one. The 12 and 8s are actually bigger, so I think that is a 10. So all we're going to do is take this thing, instead of using the bumper, we're replacing the bumper that this normally comes with right here, like you see right here, and we're replacing it with this corky inside of this rubber bumper right here. So it's not needed now that we have that on there. And we're going to slide it right down to that, just like that. Now let me show you how I did this part right here. This is the important part, this claw setup and running this through and getting that all together. First, we're going to go ahead and grab one of our P-line, just a P-line ultraviolet and glow. All that extra in there really counts a lot. Now if you look at this, it's a little bit dark right here. It's sealed up really tight right there. I don't even think there's a hole. So I always trim it down just about where you got that dark part off, and now there's a small hole in there for you to use. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take off a piece of line here. And when I make these jigs, I do about a 3-foot leader to a swivel. So it's not trying to flutter down the entire line that you're hooked to. So don't try and just tie it straight to the setup. You want to have the setup up going up to a swivel, and I'll show you that in a different video, how I'm going to set my entire rig up. We're going to go with a couple of octopus Gamakatsu, number ones, not 1/0. These are number ones. They're a little bit smaller. The reason is I don't want them to see those hooks. The fish are pretty smart under there. I have underwater video of them seeing hooks and turn around and leave. So we're going to go with 2 octopus hooks. They were out of the ones that I really like are the Big River. Look for the Big River because it has even a longer shank right here. And so when you go barbless with 2 Big Rivers with this setup, it's going to actually be in even deeper in the fish. This part's important of how long that shank is compared to, this is what it came with. Now look at what we have on here. Look at the difference in the length of that shank. Remember, there's no barb that's going to be on this when we're fishing with it. So without that barb on there, the shank's longer, you're going to lose less fish just with that one thing. Now we're going to add 2 of these on there, right? So all you're going to do is just a regular fisherman's knot. I like to hold it down here so the line doesn't slide around on me. And I'm going to go ahead and go through the eye of the hook and spin it 7 times. This is kind of key. Everybody spins it and then they get it wet. Get it wet first, and then when you spin it, it's actually in between all the contact points of that line. Oops, let's start over. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Grab this tag end and go back through that hole, just like that right there. If you can't see very good, you're in a position with sunlight or dark, wiggle back and forth, because if it's not in the hole, it will not wiggle back and forth. It's kind of a nighttime fishing secret. I use my teeth a lot. The dentist doesn't like that. You're going to pull these at the same time, opposite directions, and when it bunches up like that and stops, don't force it. Take your thumbnail and help it down with your thumbnail as you pull it, okay? And then when I get it to there, I'll even double check with 2 fingers and make sure you pull it tight and there's no slack in it. It takes 2 or 3 times to get it. Double check that knot really super good, okay? Go ahead and clip that tag end off. You can see how much I leave on there. Measurements don't matter. This is the important part, is double stacking these hooks in a claw formation. The way to do that is you're going to take this hook, and when you slide it down here, okay, you're going to take the hook that you have tied on and you're going to pull it to where the knot is in the center of this hook. Okay, so you want the knot in the center of that hook. Get it pretty close. That gives you enough room to wrap your line around 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can even go 6. Some people do 7. 5 works just fine. You're going to grab the end of your leader and then run it back through the hole. But don't let go of this part where you're holding it with your thumb until you get this pulled to here. Now just pull it out real quick. Now you can see this is important. Get the hooks facing the same direction. Get them facing the same way, just like that, before you pull it tight. Now cinch it tight with those facing the same way. That was the important claw move right there, guys. There's your claw. I mean, look at those things. You're not going to get one stuck in the fish without the other one hitting it, trust me. And that's the important part. And these are going to hide right inside of this. I almost call it a hoodie, the Hoochie. Now I'm going to get this bad boy wet so that it goes into that Hoochie a little bit easier. You're just going to take your little corky and slide it down. And then slide this Hoochie on. And if you hear noise in the background, it is the 4th of July. I wanted to get this video done, and it sounds like a war zone out there, no pun intended, not even being funny with all the wars going on right now. It actually makes me feel bad for some of the people. So now I got that a little bit wet, hopefully it stayed wet. I'm going to shove that corky Like I said, I believe it's a little number 10. Next size from 12. Next size down. See how that makes a perfect little head in there, little eyeballs popping out. And look at those hooks, you guys. I mean, it's just perfect. One corky. I mean, so this is going to be barbless. I have to keep reminding you, this is a barbless setup. Now, imagine how deadly it is with barbs. Trust me, it really, really kicks butt with barbs. But if it's a barbed river, I'm usually going to go back to treble hooks or a single with a treble hook. So, you know, there's that. Again, I don't have to use this bumper because this rubber is a bumper. Now we're going to go ahead and take, it's my favorite part. I cannot wait to go use this. In the barbless area, this is the setup you want to go to right here. That's the trick. Those are right next to each other, claw formation. They're going to dig in, and that you will not feel that fish miss. The one test that I'm going to do is see if I'm going to have a swivel right here connected to my main line so that this whole thing can spin, and possibly do one with a toothpick here and one without to see if keeping this together helps, because I really want this to flutter with this fluttering with it to make it have action on it like that. This is my goal. I want action on there. So you're going to see in my video, I am going to toothpick this one. So if you go out and do some testing with me, toothpick this one and do some without. Usually when this is falling, it's going to suck up and it's going to blah, blah, blah. But if this isn't toothpicked, this might flutter around not quite as much. That's what the underwater camera is going to show us when we do this. And the drone footage. If the water's clear enough, we'll see it with the drone too, if they come separated and how it flutters down. So I hope this helps you guys out. I know this is going to catch you more fish if you're not already doing it this way. If you were doing the double hook setup already and they were farther apart, this is going to help. And if you were facing them the opposite directions, this is going to help. In a barbless area, remember, I'm just saying that because of the barbless area. If I was in a barbed area, I would have those two hooks facing opposite directions. That way, I have higher odds of one getting hit from the other side. You follow me? So stay tuned for the next video. Like I said, we're going to be doing the drift fishing for Puyallup River, for the pinks. We're following these fish up Puget Sound all the way up the rivers. We're going to do the leader setup for the drift fishing. We're also going to be doing, where did he go? He wasn't here. We're going to be doing Little Wiggler right here. We're going to set this one up next and figure out how to get this with the double hook setup onto here and see if this or this can outbeat, let's just say something like this or this, which we haven't talked about these, and I'll do a video on spinners. Spinners are very effective. These are Blue Fox spinners. They're extremely effective. This is a weighted spinner with a Hoochie on it. That does need to be changed out with one of these, which I can do, obviously, I'll do that. But this is the big river hook I'm talking about, you guys. This is important. Look at the big river hook compared to, say, the octopus hook. They're different size hooks here, so don't get me wrong, but if you can just see this style, it's got a longer style shank with this big river style hook. So definitely a good one to go to right here. So we'll filter through and we'll get to these. We'll get to this plug setup. We'll get to the full rod setup, and hope to see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and enter into your comments if you've tried this or if you're going to try this stuff, and let me know how it goes. Feedback's important. You guys are the mechanisms, the tools to prove my theories and make sure everybody has the same setup to catch more fish. Have a good afternoon.